Welcome to Kopfkraftln, the podcast. I don't know which episode it is, and today it's kind of in English. We're gonna do it in English because we have a really special guest here, and I'm really proud and really happy. Marcus McClain.
Thank you.
Marcus McClain, you are like Mac. I can call you Mac.
Right.
Mac, you are the country manager for the German region for CrossFit.
Yeah, DACH. So
Germany,
DACH region.
Austria,
Switzerland.
Yeah. Tell me about it.
Well, there's a lot. I think it was in 2018, Nicole Carroll approached me and a handful of individuals in Italy, Spain, France. She just kind of asked us if we wanted to represent or work with HQ to further develop growth and relationships within Europe. And I couldn't say no to Nicole Carroll, right? And that's how the journey began. And the goal was always to provide a bridge, a relationship, an Ansprechpartner to the German-speaking affiliates and to develop the communities and affiliates as Germany, France, Spain, Italy were identified as hotspots, as they are almost in any business market, as France and Germany specifically. So the goal was to have someone on site on the same time zone, someone that speaks or does their best to speak the local language and understands the cultures and owns a box or is on seminar staff. And I fit that bill, and I've been doing it ever since. So I think it's going on 6 years now that I've been doing it, and it's amazing to see, how the community has grown. Germany and France were the only two countries that during the pandemic actually grew in numbers of affiliates. So it's a tremendous opportunity, and the ability to represent box owners like yourself and communities like CrossFit Graz and tell CrossFit HQ what's really going on over here and the good things that you're doing is an absolute honor and pleasure.
So they really recognize that like the DACH region or like Europe is growing and it's like a big market to develop?
Absolutely, yeah. There's has and always and continues to be potential to grow here. If you look at the map and even in a city like Graz or Frankfurt, there's there's a lot of room for growth and potential and a lot more affiliates, and more affiliates is not a bad thing. It's a good thing because it means more people are doing CrossFit, and the impact that has is on mental and physical health, and in countries where social health systems or an open health system is a thing that can be pretty important to individuals, in trying to reduce cost and make the livelihoods of everyone better.
Yeah. So you are like the link between America and like us affiliates in the DACH region.
I try.
So you have like a pretty tough job.
It's sometimes difficult. As an American, we sometimes aren't always aware of things. Most Americans know that there's Munich, Germany, and Berlin, and there's not much in between. And then obviously everything that has to do with Steuer is obviously a bit different here, and everything in Germany particularly needs a stamp. And these are just cultural differences that if you've never been abroad, it may be difficult to understand. And as an organization tries to expand, these are some of the struggles that they can face and sometimes be often misunderstood. So my goal and the goal of all the other country managers is in fact to help CrossFit HQ understand some of those unique challenges specific to different countries and areas and cultures and bridge that gap.
Do you see a difference between Austria and Germany, for example, or Switzerland, Germany, and Austria?
Well, if you think Switzerland initially has the most amount of oldest affiliates. So we had Basel, CrossFit Le Mans. They were the first two really CrossFit affiliates, 10 plus years now. Are they different? Yes. Culturally, they're different just, based on upbringings and where they're from and how they do things, and obviously dialect and language. What they do is not any different. It's bringing people together to do constantly very functional fitness, functional movements performed at high intensity and have some fun. How they go about it is a little bit different. The mindsets are a little different, but that's even within Germany. the cities are different. There's a little bit different kind of attitude based on city to city, groups based on where they all, most affiliates in a city come from that first affiliate.
Yeah.
It starts from CrossFit Basel, it starts from a CrossFit Vienna, it starts from a CrossFit Graz, and then grows. And those unique relationships obviously play a role as to how everyone either gets along or may not get along in certain instances. But again, we have to, my job or my goal is to keep everyone focused on the one thing that we have in common, and that is CrossFit.
That's really, really cool. And as I said, I think that's like special for CrossFit, isn't it? Like you have like communities, and then another community grows out of this community because of like differences or whatever, because you see things different, and that's a really, really cool thing.
Yeah.
And you don't have it in, I don't know, like fitness centers or whatever, because you don't have this really tight relationship with your member. Cool. So how many mails do you get like daily from us affiliates?
It's hard to, some days it comes and goes, obviously. When the game site crashes or there's issues with
so you are the man which is in the front line.
Yeah, well, I'm not, I am, I do shoulder a lot, or I am facing forward, as we say, but I have a tremendous team behind me. Christina Ketta and Marian Aitchison, they work behind the scenes, and they work endless hours trying to provide support. Marian works directly with the affiliates, and Ketta's in charge of our social media. And, I get to come out and hang out with you guys and do podcasts.
You have a good job.
And those girls are working tirelessly to serve the community. And I do get quite a bit of emails. The girls do a good job of trying to shoulder that load with me and take on some of those emails. But every email is important, and I do want to address every email that I get, which sometimes takes some time. And that's why we're trying to create online forums, stuff within our link trees, frequently asked questions, so that the information is readily available. Like any situation. Our goal is to teach someone to fish so they can, fish for the rest of their life, teach someone to plant a garden, and that's all we're trying to do. And it's often repeated, but our goal is to make sure that people know that the information is available, educate themselves, and then help them along the way. Yeah.
And I have, like, personally, I have to say thank you, because I'm now in the game for 11 years now, and it really, it got better.
Yeah.
For sure. Like 11 years ago, you had like, you paid your affiliation, and that's it. Like you had like a main site, and on one side it was really cool because you were like really independent. You could go forever however you wanted to. It was like really back in the days a different time.
Absolutely.
Because nobody knew it. But you guys are doing really a great job, because it's not always easy.
No. Like
in every growing community or in every growing business. And you are really doing a great job trying to help us as good as you can. Yeah. And it you have now so much more stuff where we can pick from, and the service, which is a really cool thing, and you're still able to do your own thing. Yeah, and give it your own flavor. And that's like the really cool thing to be an owner and an affiliate, having like a really strong background, but still having like the freedom to make your own stuff.
I agree. I can agree more.
So to CrossFit, you are an affiliate owner?
I am an affiliate owner. Yeah.
And owning a box in Germany near Würzburg. No,
mine's Wiesbaden.
Wiesbaden, yeah. I'm so bad in German.
It's all right, man.
Tell me about your affiliation, or like tell me about your work in your box. How do you see your work as a CrossFit coach, as an owner?
Well, we had a discussion last night. It's life-changing.
Yeah.
As sometimes minute as it may seem, or that we don't have an impact on people's lives, you have a tremendous opportunity to change people's lives, and not everyone's given that opportunity, and we should take that seriously. And the opportunity for someone to fall down and get back up, a burpee per se, is really something we take for granted, because there's a lot of people out there that are fearful of falling down and not being able to get back up, and empowering members of your box to move their apartment on their own and not really need any help, or be independent when they're older, or say, hey, I want to go for a hike. I'm going to go for a hike, and have no fears of not being able to make it and call someone to have to come pick me up. These things can change someone's lives, and it does. And we have the opportunity to do that daily with our interactions. And the interactions we have in our affiliates are obviously way different than the interactions you see in a typical fitness studio, or they're the encounters that most people have throughout their day. And why it's maybe the best hour of the day, that's saying a lot, but we really do have the opportunity for 60 minutes to really change someone's life through just, hey, how you doing? We're going to scale this workout a little bit so you can get it done, or hey, great job getting your first push-up or pull-up. These things are huge. They really are, and we can't take that for granted, and we need to continue to seek to do those things daily in our affiliates.
Yeah, and it's like, it's, as you say, it's so much more than only like exercising.
Yep.
And it was like I said, it's life changing, because I had a conversation last night when we had like our Friday night lights with the open, and somebody asked me, hey, did you enjoy it? And I was like, yeah, I did enjoy, but it was like quite a lot of stress, because the whole day not knowing and addressing everything, and then finally coming as like throwing down with you in the last heat. It was fun, but it was stressful as well. But on the other side, I was like, but yeah, for me, it's my job. You know what I mean? And it's a quite cool job, because I still enjoyed it. For sure, it was stressful, but it was like a really enjoyable moment or enjoyable evening when people are coming in, and you see like you said, like foreign people, or not people which are training, are coming and taking their kids with, and just enjoying and watching and cheering on and staying. And that's like a really, really cool job to see, even if it's like tough with Corona or whatever, or CrossFit, you name it. But I guess it's a really, 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 like, as I said, the coolest job you can have.
Well, it's a passion.
Yeah, and it's if you let it, it's so much more than just like getting fit or getting your first muscle up. And it's like behind the scenes, it's like every movement, like you said, and even if it's a burpee, that's a challenge if you can do it.
Yeah.
And if it's a struggle, it's a mental struggle. I'm afraid of jumping a box or hanging on the bar or whatever, and then overcoming this makes you so much stronger. Which comes to, because we talked beforehand, like you were like a big advocate of mental health again as well. Like we call it mindset. There's so much more to learn from it.
Yeah.
So how do you see like this connection between like CrossFit or physical training, like regular physical training, facing challenges, and like improving your mental health?
Sure. So, I mean, in terms of anxiety, depression, for me, dealing with some of those things, getting a workout in first thing in the morning kind of sets my tone for the day.
So you're the morning
kind of levels
workout?
Yeah, I love to work out. First thing in the morning is probably the best for me, and then maybe sometime in the afternoon if the day's getting too stressful. But the confidence and self-esteem that we're building through our clients in things like a box jump are going to sustain them when they get to their work and their boss is giving them a hard time, or they've got this big presentation, or just have this feeling, of I can't do this, or this is going to be. You just knocked out 50 burpees this morning. You've set them up for success, and being in a community that supports them, and knowing that they've got that support behind them. And we always say in the military, they're going to revert back to their training. And if this is ingrained in them through support of the community, a good coach that's providing them scaling options and helping them be successful, no matter what situation they're faced, that's going to come into play, and it's going to help them.
Yeah.
And I think really, the daily struggles that we all have, taking 60 minutes to work out, maybe not think about those things. Obviously, the sweat and endorphins, all those things physiologically play a great role in helping people feel better. I have owned my affiliate for 7 years now, and I can count on one hand the amount of times I've had to close my box because I was sick.
Yeah.
I haven't had to, knock on wood,
And if you close it, it was like for a day or for maximum 2.
Max, yeah.
And it was like, I'm ready to go again.
Yeah, and also I've been diagnosed with PTSD. And there's just days where I got to get in there and I got to grind and I got to suffer a little bit just to help me get reset, and get some of that just flush that stuff out. And the shared suffering, looking over at someone, man,
Yeah.
last night we went hard.
Yeah, sure.
And knowing that you were pushing me and I was trying to push you. I never had that, in traditional bodybuilding, I mean, this just doesn't elicit the same emotion, the same kind of feelings. And I think it's very, very beneficial, There's a book out now by Michael Easter called The Comfort Crisis. And I think most people are just a little too comfortable. And some people need to, feel a little bit of the challenge of a workout, to be hungry, to be cold.
Yeah, we are not used to be anymore.
No, we're not. We're very comfortable.
Yeah, because there's a saying, isn't it, that tough times create like good and strong men, strong men create good times create weak men.
Exactly.
And I guess like we are now a little bit in this like good times and weak man situation, where for example our like the crisis and the war and everything now again like shook us because now you realized it's not nothing. It's not always available.
No.
We were so used to getting on Amazon, just like clicking the button and getting it next day.
Yeah.
As you said, we're not used to being
Nothing's
hungry.
given.
Yeah, or face something, a scary situation, more scary than my Wi-Fi broke down for half an hour.
Absolutely.
And that's for me so shocking, for example, because now after all this Corona and the war, now they coming, even our kindergartens are writing out like blackout scenarios. So for in situation that a blackout happens, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like the next challenge, and we are now scared about not having internet anymore. Yeah. Because we're so dependent on it. Yeah. Because it would be like, I don't know what happens if you don't have to. Yeah. And that's like. And as you said, and for me it's like this, the box and the training and the daily training with the people. It's like I always say, it's an playground for adults. It's a safe playground where you can experiment. Yeah. You can experiment with your boundaries and with your like you can face a challenge, even not knowing if you can do it or not or overcome it. Because the worst thing what happens is I go hard with you in the workout and I like die for a minute, and I'm good to go again. And I'm just like, you beat me, I wipe it off, and that's good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because in real life you can do it that way, because there's real life. So you can, for me, like my thing is that you really can learn so much from these situations here, and you can experiment with yourself, how you deal with challenges, how you deal with if you just like don't calculate it, like you were misinterpreting the workout, or you go too hard and you're just like over your capacity, and you can learn. And it's like we said yesterday, or we talked yesterday with kids, to explore and to just learn how to move and how to deal with other people. Yeah. Because we said, like, for me, my 5-year-old daughter, I believe that's the best place for a kid to grow up.
Absolutely.
Because it's like only role models around.
Yeah, true. And I think after the pandemic, some adults need to explore that again.
Yeah.
Because people were shut down and alone for 2 years almost, and getting back and exploring, and just like Coach Glassman's 100 Words of Fitness, never stop learning and playing new sports. These things, he said this for a reason, to develop social skills, emotional, and cognitive thought. Just all this that comes into play with doing those things is very important. But
just to grow and having your boundaries, or you're just getting bigger in yourself, human being.
Absolutely. And I mean, let's be honest. No matter how bad your day is, after a workout, everyone feels better. You just got to kind of pre-program yourself, or understand that it's going to happen. I don't always know when. I mean, I do a lot of workouts, and at some point in the workout, I'm like, this is horrible. Yeah. And then at some point, and when it's done, I look back and I'm like, man, I feel a lot better.
But that's a really important thing, because we have to be conscious about that. You always have the decision to make something out of the situation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Was it a good workout, or was it a bad workout? Yeah. Why was it a good, or why was it bad? Yeah. Because in every bad workout, you always can pick something good out of it. Yeah. So it's always a decision how you see it.
That's true.
And how you leave the box. And I guess that's a big task for us coaches, to try to just like to recognize the people when they're like down just because of a workout, because the double unders didn't work or whatever.
Yeah.
Just to pick like a little bright spot.
Absolutely.
And just to tell them, hey, yeah, you sucked this workout, but there's always a good side on it as well.
And expectation management.
Yeah.
Hey man, when you go pick up your child today at the kindergarten, look around.
Yeah.
How many people today jumped rope?
Yeah.
Probably.
Exactly.
The probably only other person
Yeah.
is that CrossFit parent that you know goes across. Other than that, you've done a series and amount of things already today that most people have not, and it's setting you up for success.
Or even like working on your first box jump because you're afraid of.
Yeah.
Who like as you said, when you look around, how many people did really face fears today, or did like conscious face the fear and decided to work on it.
Yeah.
And to just better it. And that's step by step. And even if it's a 5 kilo plate or 10 kilo or whatever, or it's like a meter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And again, it goes back to the expectation management and meeting people where they are. So as a CrossFit coach, you really, you get exposed to a lot of things, and you need to be open to a lot of things. And you need to, me personally, my biggest struggle is not everyone comes from where I come from. Not everyone has the background that I have. And sometimes I want people to succeed. So I want it for them more than they sometimes want it for themselves. And that can be hard to pull yourself back. And me personally, as a CrossFit athlete, and I want to push myself sometimes I want things for myself more than may be possible. And balancing that, is a challenge and expectation management. But I think for the everyday CrossFit athlete that comes 3 to 5 times a week, sitting down with them and explaining some of this stuff, or pulling them off to the side after the workout when you see that maybe it wasn't their best, and just saying, hey man, I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
You did something today that the majority of the population is not doing or didn't do, and you should be proud of that.
Yeah.
And we did it all together, and there's a lot to be taken away from that, for sure.
And that's something I just like recognize in the box, that we are really good in cheering for others and like trying to lift others up. But there are a lot of people in our box, or like in the population, they can't cheer for themselves.
No.
Because why should I?
Yeah.
You're gonna cheer as loud as you can in the, like yesterday in the workouts for the first pull up or for the first box jumps or double under. And if you do your first double, it's like, okay, yeah, but it's only a double under.
Yeah.
You have to like just cheer yourself, like
Absolutely.
celebrate. Yeah.
It was a double under.
Yeah.
It's
we
more
have like,
than none.
In our family, we have like this little tradition now. My wife bought a kilo of confetti.
Okay.
So we are forced to celebrate like big wins.
Nice.
So we are like really, if somebody has like a big win or a little, like, you improved somehow, the other one forces you to take a hand of confetti out of this kilo and then throw it. And the best thing is in the living room, because then you have days and days remembering like all the confettis. And that's why, and that's cool, because my wife gave me the permission to make like,
That's awesome.
And that's a cool thing. And I think that's the little things, and they sound stupid, but they add up.
They do, man. They do.
That's everything. And in CrossFit as well, you should celebrate others and really just remember them to be celebrated, but on the same time never forget to celebrate yourself as well, because you have these big wins or small wins or your growth. It's the same.
Yeah, and I think not comparing yourself to others and being mindful of where you're at in your journey and what you're doing, and to have some specific goals. What are you working towards? And it's important to be able to measure success towards that. And
it doesn't exclude like
no, and if it's not going so well, then change the plan a little bit. But there can be steps towards achieving a goal, and I think goals drive people. And it's important to sit down and either have goals for your community, your affiliate, you as a box owner, a coach, and then for the individuals. Because any program, whether it's CrossFit, typical bodybuilding, if it doesn't have a goal, then
And how you say it, like a bad goal is better than no goal.
Yeah, man.
Because at least you have a direction.
Exactly.
And then you can adjust it.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the same we say at the level 2 course, have a plan.
Yeah.
And a bad plan's better than no plan, because you can look back and be like, well, this really didn't work out for this, but I can change it.
Yeah.
But if you don't have from a plan to which you can change, then you're just kind of you're in limbo.
Yeah.
You're pinballing it back and forth, and that's very hard to get control of.
Yeah, really, really cool. So that this doesn't take too long then. Do you have any advice for people which are like listening to us, which are already doing CrossFit or not yet? Like for first, have you any advice for like a regular member which is coming to the box and training? Do you have any like that's the number one?
Yeah, I would keep it simple.
Yeah.
Listen to the coach. And discuss with the coach your goals, and show up. Be present for that hour that you're there. Be happy with what you're doing. Enjoy the shared suffering of being part of a community, and be proud of it. And again, know that you're doing more than most other people aren't, and work towards a specific goal. Really work on your weaknesses. I mean, we can't stress that enough.
So don't cherry pick?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes, some days you're just not in the mood for it, but for the most part, and we saw that during the pandemic where we did home workouts, and we were forced to work on weaknesses. Burpees. Burpee is I think sometimes it's taken for granted because anyone can throw themselves on the floor and get back up. But how well can you really do it?
Yeah.
An air squat. Work these things. They'll create a dynamic that just in life, in training, in your fitness.
They're transferable.
They're transferable, man, beyond belief. So just keep it simple, and understand where you're at. I'm dealing with a significant injury, and I know that muscle ups and snatches are just they're not in my wheelhouse right now, in that first open workout. It's like, okay, well, I'm not going to be able to do muscle ups, and my training has went a little bit towards go ruck training but I know I can still train.
Yeah.